Okay, got you. Uh, that's my bad. Hopefully you heard what I said, but I'll start all over again. Thank you, Peter, by the way. Shout out to Tarmizi. Tarmizi on the other side of the world from me, but always next to my heart. Big up to Tarmizi, John Wick in the house. Hope that you're well. Um, I shouldn't have been on mute, but unfortunately, sometimes with StreamYard, if you're on mute before you go live, it'll keep you on mute, and otherwise, it'll mute you while you're on. It's the whole thing, but it's my bad, I guess. I'll take the L. Basically, what I was just trying to get across is that this isn't just Brighton away. This is a big test for us. Hope everyone's well out there, by the way, and that this is a test whether Liverpool can actually get serious about this season. This is where we have to get really serious about this season. We can't just keep living from week to week. We can't keep living from performance to performance or result to result, however you want to look at it. We have to have consistency. We have to have consistency. And Brighton are not the Brighton from 2 months ago, where we actually were, able to beat them. But 3 wins in their last four. They've got some confidence really going for themselves. They've got a good manager, I think, in the midst. Some very talented young players with their club. They've got some belief growing. They've got momentum building, and they're 5 points off of Europe. 5 points off of European placement. So let me start right here by saying I need to see some consistency from our Reds. And like I said earlier, hopefully we'll be getting a group together, a panel together. I'm not certain if they're going to. If I'm going to have. I know Lee said he was going to try to stop over. I don't know if JK or Nalante are available, but I also threw out the invite for JP to join us. But you've got me, and I've got you, and that's all that we need. So let's just uh, let's just get into this. Let's just get into this. Shout out to everyone joining us. Shout out if you're watching this on replay. But more so, shout out if you're watching this live, and appreciate if you are. I was going to say, I guess the big part of what I wanted to talk about is you can't really sugarcoat what our season has been. It's to some, it's been a hot pile of you know what, and for others, it's been here and there, good moments and bad. But 4 wins in 12 Premier League games is not good enough. Period. Whether you're Arnie Slot in or whether you're Arnie Slot out, that's beside the point currently at this moment. We do not have the power to get him in or out of his position. He is our coach. So, if anything, I'm going to back him to get us results because I'm going to back this team to get results. And if we win this, all of a sudden, we're back into this chaotic race for top four. We drop points, all of a sudden, it's chaotic. It's chaos all over. So, what I'm trying to tell you is top four shouldn't be the dream, but it should be the bottom line. It should be the baseline, the bare minimum of what we set our standards for. We're not getting into the contention for the title. We get that. That race, that train is left long time ago. We are the champions, and we need to play as such. We need to play as champions outright. We need to do something that I suggested we did last season. This is why this is so important of why I said that last season. I might even repeat what I'm saying later on, I know, but I know last season, when we got to this point of the season, we were pretty much, I think it's right around the time when we were starting to get close to wrapping up the season. We are pretty much on the point of wrapping up the season and getting our title. But correct me if I'm wrong, or you can correct me what the exact date was. Off the top of my head, I can't think of when exactly. What was the exact date that we clinched? But the point of what I'm bringing up is that last season, all of a sudden, we had people in our fan base, some even on my channel, telling me, "Who cares about these last games? Who cares about how we finished the season? Who cares? We've already. The important thing is that we won the league or are about to win the league, and that's that." And I kept stressing about the fact that it's important to create a mentality, a certain mental stability that you will have in your mind, that there's no let up, that you know that from start to finish, you have a certain amount of games that you are going to put in maximum effort. No matter if you've won the league or about to win the league, or even if you're not in the running for the league, you're going to show and prove and play it all the way through to the finish line. I was told I was silly, or oh, this or that, and blah blah blah, all these different silly takes, in my opinion. But everyone's welcome to their own opinions. I'll grant them that. But tell me how you're feeling about the team now. Tell me about how that little bit of a gap of being professionals, of being the standard bearers, those little intangibles that could have made the difference this season. How we just shrugged them off, run on. We went to holiday mode, and we allowed for our standards to be lowered. And this especially is the time when we need to have those standards rise up. So here we are again, end of the season, and we seriously need to find this team's minerals, so as they put it. We need a reality check for this club to recognize that they need to be more than they've shown all season. There's no going off to Dubai. There's no put your toes into the sand and just relax while you're on the beach. You need this team to seriously dig their heels in and push forward towards getting an FA Cup, getting a Champions League trophy, getting that top four. That has got to be the priorities on their books. Do not lose. The margin of error has evaporated, and that is on your watch. So, again, top four is not and never should be a dream. It should be a understood bar that is always met by this club. And that's where we're at. I mean, I have put it that third place is the minimum that we should accept. I'll ask you that because I don't have a panel right now, but I'll ask you in the chat. What is your minimum? What is the bar that you have set for this club currently? I understand that you might have higher aspirations for the club in general terms, but I'm asking, what is it that you have set for this club to be reachable this season? Fourth place, third place, fifth place, top six? What is it? What is that number I know for myself, it is third place. We have to achieve third place this season, and that's where I have my mark set. Despite that is not where I wanted to be, obviously in the beginning of the season, but with the circumstances that are, third place is at least the minimum. Tyler is saying Champions League spot at least, so that could be a fourth, if not fifth place finish. I think that we have to really draw some baselines for our team and hold them accountable for it. Hold them accountable for it. After this game, this Brighton game, after this game, we've got 3 weeks without league football. 3 weeks without league football. So whatever happens here is going to stick with this team. It's going to stick with us and the fan base. And I'm not talking about just from banter perspectives. I'm not talking about from just having to hear the rivals linger on about our form and about losing and about being this and being that in the top four race. What I am saying is that it can be psychological damage for us. You have to sit with it. You have to live with it. You can't fix it because it's that far out. And you've got other things in mind. Some teams, some players are going to have very important international matches that are going to have to dwell on their calendar. And that's why this game carries extra weight. That's why this game is that much more important, in my perspective, as to getting a result in an away match, a fixture that we have at times struggled with, a a a ground that is going to be very, very volatile and very difficult to play in. And most importantly, the sheer fact that we have not played well on the road this season, that has been one of our bad, bad moments. Now, Brighton Brighton have threats in their team. That's obvious. They've got a little bit of an edge from this VAR decision that was just ruled in their favor, showing that they have been um, improperly judged by VAR and given an apology by PGMOL. We all know how that feels. But Brighton aren't just in form. They're motivated. That Arsenal game absolutely motivated this team. They hung with a potential Premier League champion. And that KMI panel, which I'm going to have a whole episode on about too, but this KMI panel said that they should have had a penalty. Just another the many VAR errors that we see. So now you've got a team that feels wronged, a team that's chasing Europe, a team that is at home, and a team that has lost to us before. That is something that is important to keep in mind because those are all things that can self motivate and make this team dangerous. So the question is to you in the chat: is Brighton away the most dangerous, winnable game left in the run? In our run into this international break, is Brighton a viably dangerous game in your mind? Or is it a game that maybe we should, I wouldn't say overlook, but certainly not have fear of? Shout out JK. I see you joining us. Big up, big up.
Hey, bro. Everything good?
Everything is just dandy. Just dandy. How are
That's what I
you?
thought Neil Wingett does to you, you know.
Yeah, exactly, exactly, exactly. Um, I'm just talking about this game that we have coming up. Um, and the reason why I'm putting it in the terms that I just did is because, is it just me, or does this feel like a trap game? A trap? Does this feel like a game that if you're not switched on, if you're still, languishing in the fact of you just had a finally a good performance against a Champions League squad, you're moving on. You might have international breaks. Some teams have maybe time off because their international team might not even be playing over international break, or some might even have, playoff perceptions. Is this a trap game?
Mm, Look, we beat them in the FA Cup a few weeks ago, 3-0. And it was probably, we beat them convincingly. Hi, Norman. Hope you're cool, bro. Helio, Lewis Kid, everyone else in the chat. Hope you're cool. Lone Sheep as well. So for me, I've got no worries about this game. I just feel with that display yesterday,
Hmm.
you got to push on from that. That display is only good if the next one is. You know what I mean? And
Hmm.
that's how I see football, bro. I think when you pull out a display like it weren't a great Galatasaray team.
Hmm.
If it was an
Hmm.
Arsenal or a Real Madrid and we smashed them 4-0, we'll be talking. I'll be talking more enthusiastic about it. But it was a
Hmm.
Galatasaray team that's beat us twice already, in the slot. So
Hmm.
for me, that's why I put in that game into context. But it's only a good result if on Saturday we can pull out a display like that again. And then I would say, oh, that Galatasaray result was even greater, It gave us
Hmm.
the bounce we needed. But all in all, bro, I'm really satisfied with yesterday's game. I watched it again and
Hmm.
we played pretty well, We'll see who's available. Any news on Salah?
Any news on Slot?
On Salah.
Oh, Salah. No, I did not see any news really. It looks like he will be available though. I saw
Okay.
something about our physio making a comment about it, being that he wasn't overly concerned about it. I think it was more
Okay.
precautionary. But
Because it was Salah. That brother never wants to rest. He wants to play every minute of the
mhm,
game. So that's why I was thinking a bit worried and stuff. But like Norman says about Brighton, a bit of hit and miss this season. Actually, under this manager, I think the old Brighton were a dangerous team. This
mhm,
Brighton, I don't see them like that. And they always tell their best players, and that's probably why they've changed now. You know what I mean? But
mhm,
I'm looking forward to the game. I just wish that we can keep a clean sheet. And it's the last game before the international break for a couple of weeks, so I want to go into that with a win.
mhm,
So
mhm.
important that we get a win on Saturday. And because it's the
Yeah,
early game, we can sit back and relax then and watch the other football games with a bit of enjoyment. But we need to get them 3 points. So, like for me, if we don't get them 3 points in the bag, I'm not really excited to watch the other games that are going to be happening at the weekend. You know what I mean? When you get them three
mhm,
points in the bag early, you enjoy the games more, right?
certainly. But this, so I guess then in essence, this is a trap game for you then.
Yeah, it's a bit of a it's a bit of a weird one. Would I prefer if it was at home? Yeah, of course.
Right.
I think that would have made a major difference. Yeah, I wish we were playing at home on Saturday.
Yeah, it would
We
have made a
beat them in
difference.
the
But
league as well,
that's
didn't we? What
we
was the score in the
have.
league? 3-0?
I'll pull up the scores for us in 1 second.
I'm sure it was a high-scoring game. So Slot seems
Yeah.
to be doing okay against Brighton. I've noticed that. I think. So I think honesty. He was on Quasi's show earlier. I think he said that we seem to do pretty well with Slot against Brighton. Footballing team, you know what I mean? So.
It was 3-0, but that was the FA Cup that you're thinking about. In the
That was
league,
3-0.
we beat them. Yeah, in the league, we beat them 2-0.
2-0. So 5 goals, clean sheets in both games. Sound.
Right. Yeah.
Yeah. So
last year we lost to them 3-2, but that was after I believe we clinched the league last season. I was talking about that earlier. Is that the fact that we'd clinched the league, but yet
we lost to them,
we lost to them, and I know that maybe this is the football romantic in me as well, but I just think that finishing out a season like champions, finishing out a season like professionals, is the way to go about it. Whether you're going to be the eventual returning or eventual champions, or if you've already clinched the league, or if you're you have nothing to play for, quote unquote, still the same. I think like ending out seasons on the right note and having the right mentality of looking at every opportunity to make your team better, to make yourself more in sync and more in tune with improving your club or your teammates, and the synergy that you have with your teammates is essential. And I know that last season I was speaking about how like there were there's quite a few people outside of that was in our community. There was even some that were on our channel that were talking about how it did not matter. They did not care. As long as we win the league, that's all that matters to them. They didn't care about they could have their feet up on the lounge chairs, or toes in the sand, or they go out to Dubai or do whatever they wanted to do. As long as we got that to that finish line, quote unquote, of winning the league, that's all that mattered. And I was like, that's a poor mentality. It's a poor mentality to set. It's not the right mentality to set. You take advantage of those days and opportunities and games that you have, even after you've clinched, to make yourself even more of a juggernaut, even more of a champion, even more of like the sense of saying, I'm going to take this opportunity to make our team better, rather than sit there and allow for other teams to pinpoint your weaknesses or get confidence the next time they face you, simply because of the results that you showed, quote unquote, as you were champions. I think we've carried that into this season. And now we're at the business end of the year once again. And this time it means something. And we don't have the luxury of referencing, especially with half, I wouldn't say half, but like a good turnover in players, especially with a case where we don't have the luxury of referencing what it took last year to get through these last couple of games. When you're beat up, you're tired, and you want to just kind of like put it on cruise control to get through the end of the season. It's going to be very, very, very telling how these players play going forward, because there are players that don't want to end up exhausting themselves to the point where they get injured, or they get unable to help their international teams in the World Cup or get into the World Cup. It's a certain mentality that I think that sometimes you can recognize people that have been there and people have been at high levels of playing, whether for individual sports is one thing, but for as a team sport it's another. Because a team sport, you can have individuals on your team that are like go-getters that are going to be, like your Jordan Hendersons that are going to be on, always tuned in and high energy. And then you have others that are going to be on like your Balotellis that are like, you know, already, you know, in the nightclubs till wee hours in the morning because we already won or something. But it is a real mentality that I think is important that we instill in these players because right now they're you can't fall back on having a let's say pragmatic, but having a real energetic, having a effervescent coach that can will you to that finish line, that can motivate you to get there. That's
Well,
not really Arnie. That's not really Arnie Slot, in my opinion.
well, yesterday when you seen him on the sidelines, he's the most enthusiastic I've ever seen the guy.
Mhm.
And that was a major reason why we played like that. I always say the team portrays the manager. And when you look at Arnie Slot on the sidelines, he doesn't sort of give a demeanor of a Jurgen Klopp who's on the touchlines, who's really enthusiastic, and the players show that through the manager. You know what I
Mhm.
mean? Yesterday's
Mhm.
game, if you look at Arnie Slot's behaviour and stuff, it showed you the team's behaviour.
Mhm.
Like when when was it? Even when Kirkes did that little tackle on that guy, the way Arnie
Mhm.
Slot was behaving, you don't see that in Arnie Slot. And yesterday's game was the first game I've ever seen Arnie Slot
Mhm.
feeling the game, and he was acting like he was a player. He was a player. This guy, he's played the game, so he knows what it's about. So yesterday was really good to see Arnie Slot showing enthusiasm. That was the
Mhm.
main reason why we won. Enthusiasm. Without enthusiasm, you can't do nothing good. Even if you want to make a cake, if you haven't enthusiasm, when you're cooking or even, I hate people who cook and they're doing it like I don't want to do this. Them type of cookers. I don't like them
Mhm.
type of cooks and
Mhm.
chefs. So it's like when you're
Yeah.
going to cook, do it with a smile or fuck off. And that's the way football's the same. And yesterday to see
Mhm.
Arnie Slot show great enthusiasm it was good to see. Maybe he should do that again on Saturday.
Mhm. Yeah. Yeah. I guess let's talk about Liverpool's biggest flaw, I guess. Um, and that is the fact that 8 goals have been conceded after the 90th minute. Um, 8. I mean, like really, really, really think about that. 8. Wild.
But when you
Uh,
look at the game as well yesterday, I never ever felt that we were going to concede a goal. So we've had them type of games as well, where no matter what happens, I know we're not going to concede.
mhm.
So, and that was that type of game. Arsenal, Inter Milan, Real Madrid. In all these games we played, I always thought, you know what, we're keeping a clean sheet, and that's what it is, bro.
Mhm.
Normally we concede in late goals, but from the minute first whistle, within the first 5 minutes is one of them games where we
Mhm.
might concede any time.
Yeah, I get that. I get that. I think every single one of those points, though, if you think about the 8 losses, I mean, that's, or conceding 8 goals. It's not all 8 losses. Some of them are draws, some of them
Draws,
are
yeah.
losses. But that's not tactics, really. It's mentality. It's why I've been working this
Well,
angle. Go
when you
ahead.
look at it as well, though, 12 is when you look at the last 12 to 15 minutes of the games, in them games we drop points, the opposition have the ball
Mhm.
more than us. Simple. And look at the games where we've
Mhm.
not conceded any goals, and it's a 0. and we've won. Look at we
Mhm.
controlled the game from start to finish with the ball. And Galatasaray yesterday didn't even have the ball at the end of the game, and look, we kept a clean sheet. And that's I don't know what the reason is why we end up giving the opposition the ball. Like Fulham when they scored that goal, like come on, you know.
Mhm. Mhm.
So keep hold of the ball at the end of games is a go-to thing. You got to do that. Don't give the opposition the ball at the end of games, and you will keep a clean sheet.
Mhm. Yeah.
Hi,
I
Dara.
mean,
How you cool? Right down, Jack.
um,
Bless, bro.
it's and it's mentality though to me though. A lot of it's just the mentality of it all. What I mean by the mentality of it all is that um you can talk about all the tactics that you want, if there's got to be a trigger inside of you that recognizes that you can't get tight when it comes to allowing them too much space or having to go in for a challenge or or something along those lines. You have to be like measured in and ready and prepared. And like you said, having possession and controlling the ball is a massive portion of it, of course, because you can't score without the ball, period. So I just think that there's a massive energy loss when it comes to the mentality sometimes you see from our team late in games. And and it's because it's happened before. You know, it's crazy. It happens to all of us, and I'm not saying that it doesn't, um, because I believe that there's going to be times when things can kind of sink in, like, oh no, we don't want this to happen again. Oh no, we've been there before. I think a lot of us, for instance, normally would not have thought that Spurs were going to come back and tie that game. Normally, we would not have. But this season being different, the eight different types of 90-minute goals that we've conceded this season has put that seed of doubt in some of our minds. And I think in some of these players, it has sunk in too. And it's a tough thing to kind of shake off until you start seeing your way through games. We start, getting those go-ahead goals. You start putting teams to bed rather than allowing for them to hang around and even have the opportunity to score those goals. And that's where we have to make a difference. And you might think otherwise. I mean, do you think what do you think the biggest issue tactically is, or well, I want to say this, is Liverpool's biggest issue tactical, mental, or purely inconsistency in effort? What would you
I would.
say is
The
the
last
answer?
thing you said there.
Pure inconsistency in effort?
Of course. Look at the two different worlds in 1 week. Tottenham on Sunday and Galatasaray. Was it Sunday we played Tottenham or Saturday? Whatever day it was.
Hmm. Hmm.
Two
It
different
was
worlds.
It was Sunday. It was Sunday.
So Sunday and a Wednesday. Two different worlds. Same location, totally
Hmm.
different scenes.
Hmm.
Why? Because of it's partly mental as well. So tactics, like you don't have to over train and over tactic a team full of stars. It's as simple as that. For me, when you look at Zidane, what Zidane isn't a guy who's going to lecture the team every day on tactics.
No.
The guy don't even do
No.
interviews. You know what I mean? The guy don't
Right.
need to talk. Why? Because of
Right.
the talent he had at Real Madrid in them years. He won all them Champions Leagues. Was enough to do the job. He was just there just to keep it flowing, do a few
Hmm.
interviews, but made sure the
Hmm.
team was selected and got the job done. And that's for me with Slot. He overcomplicates the team. Um, yeah, man, you got enough players there, but you don't really need to say that much. Pick them, get the job done.
Hmm. Lewis is saying playing sub intensity is definitely not. down to playing the diamond. Last night performance was down to effort and application. Tactics were a cherry on the top of the work hard mentality. I do think that the formation does have some say in it as well, but I understand that a good uh, majority of those ingredients, um, the majority of those ingredients were from the majority of those ingredients were from what you just mentioned: the intensity, the hard work, the dedication, the commitment. All those things are important ingredients to making that cake. Um, but yeah, figuring out the formation is the type of cake that you're trying to make. I think that the formation does have a say in how we play. Because I can tell you this much. Tell me one. Tell me one bad game we've had when we played a 4-4-2 this season.
Yeah, yeah.
Can you tell me one time we've lost playing a 4-4-2 this season? I know, hi Laura. I know Lee in the chat are always good on those kinds of stats and figures and statistics. Um, I seriously ask you, when was the last time we've lost? Or
Mm-hmm.
and I can tell you we haven't. We've won in Europe, which is where we primarily use this formation, and on occasion, on a very 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 rare occasion, we've won in England as well. But I take Galatasaray. Had one frustrating part about it was that the frustrating part about the Galatasaray game was this: where has this team been all season? Because we just saw what Liverpool can be, what they should be, not just one time because their backs are against the wall, but we're talking about a team that should exhilarate this type of performance every time they go out onto the pitch. That performance just it was not only elite, but it was good enough for myself and JK to watch it more than once. We're talking about a controlled game. We're talking about how,
Yeah.
yeah, I was gonna say that they were dominant. They were relentless in pursuit of count. Like, what was it that made this team all of a sudden remember how to counter press?
You know what it was, bro? It was a Tottenham game at the end of the game where the fans were booing.
Yes,
Virgil van Dijk
agreed.
ain't had that in his career at Liverpool.
Hmm.
And Sobotlai's interview, the players felt that game. The players played for the crowd yesterday. They did it for the
Hmm.
fans. It was as simple
Hmm.
as that. How long can you carry on sunbathing for? You know what I mean, bro? The fans sort of put it on the players at the end, and that little boo got the players rattled, and you seen the enthusiasm.
Hmm.
And
Agreed.
as soon as the whistle blew, did you see Kirkes? How he was running around? Frimpong? Everyone.
Hmm.
Midfield was closing down quicker than you could say boo.
Hmm.
Then you know the team's at the races. Norman was probably at the game. He would have felt the energy. It was just
Hmm.
different to Tottenham's game. And that is, for me, Van Dijk realising, oh, we've got to win this game. So the team talk from that Tottenham game to yesterday's game was, we've got to do it for the fans. And they did
Hmm.
it. And it's a simple mindset thing, bro.
Hmm.
Football. Same guys who played on Sunday played yesterday.
Hmm.
You know, so now I'm looking forward to the. So we've got two big games, 3 games against Paris and Man City in cup
Hmm.
competitions. Difficult opponents on paper when you look at it.
Hmm.
So I'm going to celebrate this win and stuff, but realistically, I'm going to think How can we do it against PSG now? Get Harvey Elliott back and Darwin Núñez to get an away win, maybe. Harvey
Can't
Elliott
ask
played
for that
brilliantly.
anymore.
Say again?
Yeah, you can't ask for that. And
Yeah, Harvey
or
Elliott came
you
on as sub
can't even ask for
tonight.
that. Yeah, you can't even ask for that.
Yeah, so the PSG game away, man. You know they're going to go at it. So we're going to have a defensive display like we did yesterday. Yeah. Oh, so you're born on the
Haven't
76, Norman, yeah?
I haven't really seen much of an update other than the comments that Arnie made on Salah. I'm sure that'll have a very big impact as to the formation, and even not only the formation, but even the players that we're going to see and where they are allotted to. Um, because I know, I think it was the streets. I think it was Rasta Crab, and um, I don't know if Pops was against me on this, or not against me, but as in debating against my my thoughts, or my tactical brain. Um, but one thing that we've seen is Mohamed Salah centrally is capable of doing and getting more involved in the attack than he is when he's put out wide in this offense.
I think
And it's something.
mhm.
Go ahead. No, go
I
ahead.
think the beauty of Salah's game yesterday, what it was, he didn't have to travel from half a day from the touchline on the right into the box. He was already in the box,
Hmm. Hmm.
and that's gonna cut out his time he's wasting. No, I wouldn't say wasting, but using to get from the byline into the box all the time, bro. So he was already in
You could
there, and I think that
you
works
could
better
say
for
it
him.
as you could say it's a difference in the amount of energy he exerts in
Yeah,
trying to get into the box, and in beating these younger fullbacks that never really had a chance against them before, but now all of a sudden are making him work harder, or maybe even um, you know snuffing out his runs and his approaches towards getting into a shooting position. But yet, when you're central, you're all of a sudden you're there already.
yeah,
It's a matter of a few. It's a matter of a few quick decisions, a few, step overs, or adept touches, and all of a sudden you've got that moment to be able to shoot. And that was the difference. You're not working
yeah.
from the byline. You're
And
working from a
also
much
when
closer area.
when
This
you
is
look
all
at
it's
the,
all interesting. Go ahead. Go ahead.
I was going to say quickly, bro. The when you look at the power of the shots he took, the
Mhm,
one where the goalie saved it and Gravenberch scored, and
mhm,
his goal itself, he had the power to do them shots. For like, what's happened is every time he runs with the ball, by the time he gets to a shooting sort of area, he's run out of sort of energy and power, bro. It seems
mhm,
like.
mhm,
But yesterday he didn't
mhm,
need to run. He just got the ball, bang, and just seeing that shot of Venom where he didn't score and Gravenberch scored. It was just good to see that power and that oomph in it, and then he got the goal.
mhm.
Great to see
Yep.
him and Works working well, man. It's good to see that
Yeah.
as well.
Yeah, a real connection being grown through two of the Premier League's top players. Um, Wild takes, though, wild takes, because I know that sometimes uh, uh, it can be vindicating to have your opinions be shown on the pitch, and then to be echoed by pundits and sometimes even your fellow content creators out there that have now gotten on the same wavelength that you are on with some of these takes, and some of them pretend that they were theirs all along. I get that. That's just the sense and reality of it all. People act and know that you that you can have receipts. People know that what you say on the internet lasts an eternity. Okay, but
Yeah, but
it's so
like we live in a world, bro, where um, just to be justified, a guy wouldn't mind if his team lost, just to be justified in this internet
oh
world.
this that's yeah that's
One thing
those things are
as a
frustrating.
Liverpool fan is you always want to be proven wrong if you do come out with some mad statements. You know what I mean, bro? I
Mhm,
said about
mhm,
Mane, I said he doesn't look like a Liverpool player. He looks more like a Man United player when
mhm,
we brought him. It was just that I just
mhm,
felt it,
mhm,
and I said I'm not sure if he's good enough for Liverpool. He proved me wrong big time, and I was so damn happy
mhm,
about it. That someone on Twitter tweeted me like 3, 4, no, about 5 years later after I wrote
mhm.
that. After I wrote
When
that,
you say when you
hey,
say when you when you say Manchester, you seem more like a Manchester United player. What do you mean by that? If you can
I
clarify,
just felt
just so that people can have clarity for it.
he's like a Man United player. I don't know why he just feels like a Man United player and not a
What
Liverpool one.
what is that? Yeah, what is that quality that you're speaking on?
What do you mean?
Like, as in, does he seem like? I don't think of Monty as a low down dirty scoundrel. So I just just
You said
checking.
it, bro. I didn't say that. You did. I didn't want to
So
say
therefore, I wouldn't look at him as being a red devil.
it.
Excuse me.
But
Oh
yeah,
no,
he
for
proved me
sure.
wrong big time, and it was good to see that.
Okay.
And I don't understand these fans who want to be justified in their stupid agendas, and these guys will be celebrating. Okay, me, you, Lee, Nalante. Yeah, we're all disappointed in Slot, but we've not gone after him in the way a lot of guys have. Okay,
Mm,
not even in our chat, we keep it respectful.
mhm,
We don't really take the piss and be rude, towards Slot.
mhm,
I've seen some fans. Wow, I'm like you're not a Liverpool fan, so I don't view these guys as Liverpool fans because for me, you can say it in a polite manner. The manager's not good enough. But
mhm,
when you're going really deep into it, so that means when the Champions League, if we do win it, you guys are not going to celebrate it. Why? Because Slot's the manager. Simple as.
mhm,
So until the guy's gone, then you can say what you want after he's gone. Because like for me, he's not doing the job no more. And so you can say, oh, he was this, that, and the other. But when he's in the
mhm,
job, let it be. Like say it
mhm,
once, yeah. Look, he ain't great. I don't want him here no more. But don't turn it
mhm,
into an agenda, and that you want your team to actually lose. So this guy's gone. Uh-uh. That's a different ball game. So yesterday, bro, we could have lost that game, and some fans would have been happy. But with the
Oh yeah,
display we
because it
showed,
it would have furthered their agendas. Yes, certainly.
simple as, and that for me isn't
Mhm,
football. That's just stupidity.
mhm,
Because for me, if we didn't win yesterday, what we got to look forward to? We got Man City in the FA Cup, and that's it. So
mhm, mhm,
we had to win yesterday. It didn't matter. It was bigger than Slot yesterday's game.
mhm.
You know what I mean?
I
His football is bigger than it was. Yesterday's game was bigger than the Slot. I don't care
mhm,
who the manager of Liverpool Football Club is. I just want to win.
mhm. There is something I do want to. I'll address quickly before we go into this tactical setup, because I do see that the chat is talking about Verts, and about preseason and about the likes. It's a unique thing about the preseason, guys, and this is just from my perspective, at least. And this isn't necessarily like saying that your opinions or anyone's opinions in the chat is wrong. Majority of you, some at points and places, know more than I do. But what I can say is, from my perspective, the Florian Wirtz transfer was an opportunistic transfer. there was no real, like, you know, 2 year or year campaign of pursuing this player, and this is what we were tactically moving towards, or this or that, or yada yada. I just think that when it comes to Florian Wirtz, it was an absolutely an opportunistic opportunity for us to get one of possibly the best youngest players in the world. And I would even go as far as to say, not only was it an opportunity to bring in a Florian Wirtz, but I'd even go as far as to say that knowing what type of player he is, seeing now a player that's gotten some type of rhythm, has been producing, not lately, but has produced for us in this season. You recognize how beneficial it was to have gotten a player of his stature. And now you can go as far as to say, what would you imagine this team's placement where we would be in this season if we did not have a Florian Wirtz? We speak about a lot of the things that are going wrong with our offense, wrong with our this and that when it comes to producing and creativity and the likes. Florian Wirtz is one of the most creative players on this team, and it's a blessing that he chose Liverpool over Bayern Munich or Manchester City. And that's not that's not taking away from the fact that we could utilize ADM, or we could have utilized maybe another center half, or any of those things. That's not begrudging those takes. But what I am saying is that Florian Wirtz is beyond a blessing for this team, because he is truly a centerpiece that we can build on a future with other players around him. And it would be fantastic to have a center back. It'd be fantastic to have a DM. It'd be fantastic to have a right wing. It'd be fantastic to have all these other positions. But I don't know if there was a player in any of those positions that is the caliber of player that Florian Wirtz is, in my opinion. And that's why I'm saying it's a blessing to have this player on this team. Not saying that anyone's begrudging that we got him and everything else, but that's what I'm trying to get across. Um, Norm is saying Norm and Hylor, and I thought Norm, Hylor, and Lee were all talking about it. That's why I just kind of joined their conversation, their side conversation. Um, let's see. Norm said, 12, I get you on Verts, but what he's saying is that we have been told for years now that Liverpool don't sign a player for just how good he is, but to fit a system. They were they went against that in they went against I'm sorry. They went against that in the summer. Because you were not getting pace with Verts, you were getting a more measured, clever player and playing him in a side that built a counter, not built. And again, I'm not disputing it's your take. I think that's a valid take, and I think that's actually an accurate take, Norm. However, I'll say it like this. I'll ask JK the question. You can answer in the chat too. Hypothetically, Messi wants to come. Messi wants to come to Liverpool and play his last years. Do you turn down Messi because he doesn't bring pace, or because he doesn't structurally fit into our team to the point where we'd have to possibly adjust and move players around and figure out a way to compensate for that player? It's a very difficult question.
Mm.
Very difficult question. I mean, like, I know Messi might be a I'm not trying to compare Messi to Verts. I'm just saying, I'm just picking out a talented player that you might not turn down the opportunity to play for. Or How about a player that he plays with in Germany, Musiala? Musiala wants to come to Liverpool. Do you turn him down because he might not? Musiala does have pace, but do you turn him down because he might not have the physicality for the Premier League? I can't think of trying to think of the players that you can recognize for that case.
Well,
but you get what I'm getting at. You could
I know
just
what you mean. I know what you mean.
player A, player X, if you want to put it that way, rather than have to associate it with an actual player that's playing today.
It all depends on a lot of things. Like, are we going to pay Messi $1 million a week? That's the first thing that came into my mind. Messi right now will probably do pretty well for a year in the Premier League, you know. But I think he was never going to come here.
No, or how about this? How about a player that was going to come here, or was rumored that wanted to come here? Mbappe. We would certainly have to adjust certain things for Mbappe to fit into Liverpool's team. But if Mbappe wanted to come here, would you say no because he doesn't necessarily fit the system? I'm asking, playing devil's advocate, by the way. Not saying anyone's right or wrong. I'm just asking for what you would think or what you would feel is the right move.
I would say it doesn't fit the manager. Under Klopp, yeah, any player would. You know what I mean? But with this guy, he isn't like that.
Okay. I'm not asking what player we need next. No, Eiler. I'm just asking if an opportunity were to come around, and let's say, Vinicius Jr. is dealing with a lot of the racial, abuse and the likes in Spain, and he wants a change. So he's decided he wants to come to England, and the team he chooses, he says, "I've always been a Liverpool fan. I want to go to Liverpool." Says all the right words, says all the right things. Yet Vinicius Jr. does not necessarily fit into some high pressing, Liverpool team per se. But he's a talent. Do you say to yourself, yeah, Vinicius Jr., fantastic, but you don't fit our system? Or do you say, fantastic, come to Liverpool, Vinicius Jr., and we'll figure out a way to fit you into our system, or make our system fit around you? I'm asking that as a general question to the chat and to the panel, obviously, but to the chat as well.
Good question, because for me, it is more to do with the quality of player, and you make him work. That's how I see football. Of course, they're going to do their nerd checks, and this guy fits your system more. You know what I mean? They're going to do that. But for me, that ain't football. I just feel a person's and player's persona is the reason you buy him. Like words, he'll suit any team. He's that good. Musiala, if he's not defensive, Salah hasn't been defensive, and he's probably been one of our best ever players. So it's all about the footballer and what he brings to the table, and if he's mature enough to play for Liverpool. I'm more bothered about his maturity than anything else. Because for me, I don't want no immature player at Liverpool who's just here for the money and the limelight. Don't want him here. I don't care how good he is.
Yeah, I was about to write it down, but I'll just say it out loud. I know Norm says he respectfully disagrees. He wouldn't buy a player just for how good he is. He thinks he says he has to think his style does fit with us. Okay.
But every player we buy, they seem to be professional, and that's a lot to do with Klopp's years. He laid a good foundation there of we're a serious club. And that's what it is really. For me, Norman can back this as well. He knew Kenny Dalglish wouldn't have brought any jokers into the club who are going to ruin it. And there have been players who are jokers, go into clubs, ruin it, ruin the vibe, ruin everything, ruin their own career. So Liverpool, we've been blessed in that way where if we do business off the pitch, bringing players in, 9 times out of 10 they're sound.
No, I think that they do they do due diligence when it comes to
Big time.
Psychological, analysis and the does this player fit Liverpool more than just on the pitch but off the pitch as well. A lot of those components have to be
pulled a
involved.
top move in signing a lot of captains of international teams. That was his go-to move, and he pays dividends. You get him top professionals, bro.
Yeah. I just it's a difficult question. I'm not. There are certain players that I think that for instance, this is going to be controversial, but if I would to rewind the scripts, I would never have gotten Luis Suarez as a part of the Liverpool team. I know that Luis Suarez is a talented player. He fits the Liverpool system technically, but off the pitch type of player and person he was isn't exactly my cup of tea. With the racial undertones and all the other stuff. But he's a fantastic footballer. And with that said, I know I'm going to get pushed back. I probably get clipped up for saying that. But I mean, but all the same, I think that, you get to the point where sometimes clubs make decisions based upon what they can make the most beneficial for the club. So sometimes that would be positive. And other times that'll be negative towards the club. As far as AKA Jaws, yeah, definitely. AKA Mike Tyson, the Mike Tyson of football.
Probably the best player I've ever seen with my own 2 eyes. Suarez, what a player. On the pitch,
absolutely.
What a player.
On the pitch, an absolutely incredibly talented.
Gerrard. It's either Gerrard or Trent, the best passer of a ball I've ever seen. Gerrard for me, yeah. Trade Naomi as well. Good little passer he is.
Not disputing that too, by the way. Not disputing the fact that Suarez didn't necessarily show those attributes of instability, mental instability to allow for yourself to do the cheating he did in the World Cup against who was it against Senegal, was it? Or Ghana? I think it was against Ghana. I think it was against Ghana in the World Cup. Or is it the biting, or is it the racial undertones? If he had any of those attributes, probably Liverpool never go for him. They don't want to bring in that atmosphere into the team. But hindsight, I'm saying that with hindsight, of course, as well. All right, let's get back to this this preview, more than a preview episode. Let's talk about shape. And for me, it's the box midfield that is essential to us being legit and being able to compete. And what I want to see tomorrow, or not tomorrow, but this weekend, Saturday, is Gravy, Macca, Dom, and Flo. That's
you're doing a menu there.
Yeah, I know.
Gravy,
It sounded like it.
I was like,
Mac and cheese, gravy. Yeah, right. So boss, no lie. And and Flo in the kitchen there. There you go.
So must no fry.
There you go. There you go. No fries. No fries. The fries in the bag. Um, I think that's the balance that we need. I think that's control. I think that's I'll throw this out right now. Do you believe that's the best shape for Liverpool going forward? Do you think that's the best shape that we
Uh-huh.
can bring together?
It is because for me, a 4-3-3 works when you've got a manager who likes to play fast football. So
Hmm.
then that 4-3-3 formation can cover all ground.
Hmm.
With this manager, 4-3-3 don't seem to work. Why? Because of the gear we're playing football in. We're too slow to cover all the ground, hence why we get exploited.
Hmm.
With this 4-4-2 setup, what it is, that extra guy in midfield, he's covering the ground. And so the front two are only going wide if the need be, if they need to do that. So they're not wasting that energy. And so we're
Hmm.
covering all that midfield. So from the goalie of our goalie until I would say the edge of their box, we've got that covered. Hence why
Okay.
we look better. And we don't look like we're going to get exploited.
Hmm.
So this tactic sort of suits us more
Hmm.
in the way this manager plays and the
Hmm.
gears he plays in. Yesterday it worked really well.
Hmm. Agreed. Agreed. Yeah, I mean the backline decision is pretty simple. Kirkez, Kanate, VVD, and Frimpong as your back four. I'm not changing it. I would. I'll put this caveat out there. I'm sure I'll get pushback from some in the chat, or maybe even some in the comment section. But I did think about I did think about maybe inserting Robbo into this lineup for Saturday, simply because a um, because as a back line, but you do want some, you want fresh legs. You want players that are capable of going a full 90 in that back line and the likes. We know that this coach has constantly said that Kirk has is still finding the ability to do these, multiple games in a week type situations. I don't believe Hungary have any games come this international break, because they're not in the World Cup any longer, or not in pursuit of the World Cup or even the playoffs. I'm not certain if they have a friendly or not, but the point is, I thought about putting Robbo back there simply because, you know, Robbo is more than capable of playing the role. I'm sure he's up for it as well. Yet, the reason why I don't want to possibly do it is because Brighton have fast wings. They have absolutely some pace on their wings. And I would love to see us combat that with pace of our own in Kirkez and Frimpong. Um, I'm not saying Robbo can't run, but what I am saying is he doesn't have the same pace level as Kirkez does currently. And I would prefer to see Kirkez be able to measure it in 60 to 70 minutes of play, and then bring in Robbo for the last 20 minutes to hold it down with the football IQ, with the knowing that he could exert himself. He could give the 40 minutes worth of exertion in 20 minutes worth of time type situation. Are you with the back line? What's your back line for this team? You can tell me that in the chat, and uh, see if JK says the same. Um, see, when you get outrun by teams like Tottenham and Wolves, there are teams that and that are teams that we should blow out of the water. Tyler says our manager is the core problem. Mhm. Yeah, Robbo will get plenty of minutes for Scotland. Scotland play? Scotland's already in the World Cup. Did they have a friendly lined up?
They'll have a few friendlies, I think. Yeah, Holland have. I hope Van Dijk ain't playing.
Let me see.
So there's a few games. Kirk set the tone of the game yesterday.
Yeah, you're
That
right.
was
They
very
have
important.
they're gonna be playing they're gonna be playing Japan.
Mm-hmm.
And then they play the Ivory Coast. Friendly's all the same. Friendly's all the same. It'll be their last opportunities to get in some type of active role before the World Cup, probably for Scotland. So I'm sure they'll put in some type of measured effort, but certainly not exert themselves too much. Obviously, I'll go with Ali in goal as well. Hopefully, he can, you know, he doesn't have any. Hopefully, Ali doesn't come across any complications in staying fit in training to get to this Brighton game. I know that he has had some ups and downs this season with keeping his fitness the way we want it. I think the biggest debate is the Salah and the penalty debate. I'm going to talk with Mohamed Salah obviously right now because the fitness question aside, if he's on the pitch, I say he's our guy to take penalties. Now, some are already calling for Dom to be that guy. Some have called for Dom or others. I've already said that McAllister should have taken over penalties a long time ago. I thought that McAllister should have been the guy taking penalties once Salah wasn't in the actual lineup. I know some are very bullish on Dom taking penalties. I don't really like Dom's spot kicks that much, to be honest with you, simply because Dom does not try to do anything tricky. He doesn't say, "Oh, I'm gonna go right, I'm gonna go left, I'm going to, mix it up." He goes for the same side, he goes for the same placement each and every time. It's just about he's gonna hit it harder than you can get to it. He's gonna hit the ball so hard that it's gonna have so much pace that it's gonna be impossible to stop. Whether you get a hand on it, whether you get in front of it, chances are it will take you with it into the back of the net. And we've already seen him miss a spot kick, by the way. And for me, this isn't me being biased towards McAllister, but I just think McAllister is an excellent penalty kick taker, and also it'd be kind of fitting for him to take the penalty kick against his former team in Brighton in this role. But I'll ask you, should Salah remain on penalties? JK, should Salah remain on penalties, do you think?
Yeah, Salah for me is a penalty taker, bro. Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Tradition, innit? When he goes, someone else will do it. If we get a penalty shootout in any competition, it's good to have McAllister as a box like guys who can take penalties anyway. So I have no problem. Salah's had 3 penalties this season, scored 2, missed 1. So Salah's had 2, scored 1, missed 1. So yeah. Exactly, Helio. Using Klopp style once a season, like use it all the time. Even on the sidelines, I was saying earlier, It was like Jurgen Klopp behind his slot yesterday. The way he was just enthusiastic, man. Just be enthusiastic. That's it.
Now we're getting late in the hour, so I'm gonna try to pick it up a little bit here. I have a few more sections to get through, so Florian Wirtz thing. I had a section on Florian Wirtz I wanted to talk about briefly. I'll make it brief. Look, Flo should have scored yesterday. Not only should he have scored, I think that he's got to get a little bit more of that killer mentality in him. You know that that ruthlessness. Sometimes he's been a little bit too I would say
Casual.
magnanimous. Yeah, too casual, too forgiving in the sense of allowing for players to get their shots off instead of him getting his shot off when necessary. And he's got to also just put his foot through a couple of them, you know, and just really let it loose. He's got a shot. We all know that. We've seen the shot, whether for Germany or for Leverkusen before. I just want to see more conviction. I want to see more shots, more conviction, thus more goals. I don't mind him being the facilitator that we need him to be, but also getting others involved is fantastic. Him creating a more incredible bond between him and Ekitike, fantastic. But I want to see him get his shots off too.
Be like a knife, you know what I mean? Really sharp. Yeah. But saying that his energy of playing football has got him to where he's at right now. So you can improve on that. That's what I'll be doing if I was on it. So I'll be like, look, this guy's great. What can I do to improve him? For me, to go up a gear or two. Simple as that, nothing else.
Let's get it real. Obviously, this is, game control versus energy. It's going to be a very unique situation for us. If we can keep both high in the sense of high possession, but also high energy, not kind of like having possession and then having, I don't like it when you have cleats on top of the ball. That's something that in my time of playing, or at least, some of my stages of playing, I remember one coach in particular, you would do laps if you were to put cleats on top of the ball, but he's more of a, keep the ball moving, keep it progressive, keep it flowing, and the likes. And I agree with that mentality. That's the kind of football that I like to see myself. So I guess the final reality check for us is that we have a team in Brighton that's been playing better, that has some real belief that they can get a result against us, and is going to do their best to try to show and prove in front of their own hometown fans. We all know Liverpool fluctuates from being good to bad to anything in between. But the difference has to be that we are going to push for some type of measure check, some type of consistency before we go into this international break, because we don't want to see our team get punished. I'm going to ask for your score prediction here. I know for mine, I have my heart is saying Liverpool 3, Brighton 0. That's my heart. However,
that's what it's going to be.
Okay, my head is telling me 2-0. 2-0 is what my brain is telling me. But but all the same. What is your score prediction?
2-0.
2-0. Okay. Easy said. Before we bounce out, I was going to give also a quick shout out call to yesterday's game by rewinding the tape a little bit and making sure we got our I'm sure some of the players are like, how can you not give us a player rating on the best game we've had all season? So I am going to give a quick player ratings with JK. You can always add in your scores or your ratings as well in the chat. I'm going to go through them as quickly as possible, of course. So let's start with Ali. I don't think he had anything really to do with the game yesterday, other than maybe an occasional pass from Beck. I think he was calm, composed. He was never looked rattled. But that's our alley. I gave him a 7. He got the shutout, so I gave him a 7.
Clean sheet 7.
Okay, easy enough. Easy enough. Frimpong. Oh, now this was a good player yesterday for me. When Frimpong can show his pace, when he looked sharp, he looked brave by going and attacking players on that right wing. He was aggressive. He gave Liverpool possibly some of the best thrust into the final third. I think he was one of the best players on the pitch yesterday. I gave Frimpong an 8.5. What was your rating for Mr. Frimpong? Mr. Ping Pong? Is that what we call? I don't know what his nickname is going to be, but what would you give him?
I give Frimpong a 7 as well. He was sound. 7. Clean sheet. Enthusiastic, job done.
Okay. Kanate, Ibu, strong, front-footed. Dealt well with anything Galatasaray put through. I know he actually did well with his assignment. Sometimes his assignment, at least, with Osimhen. I gave Kanate an 8.
I'll give him 8 as well. I think him injuring Osimhen did us a favour. So I'll give him an 8.
Okay. Our captain, VVD. I thought same old settings for VVD. Commanding, read the game beautifully, kept Liverpool structurally intact. I gave VVD an 8.
Likewise as well. I'll give him 8. Yeah. And Osimhen finally came to Anfield. He's signing.
Yeah, there you
He's
go.
not going to use his bad hand though. He's not going to use his bad hand. He's going to use the other one.
He made a not a great audition, but all the same. Kirkez. I thought Kirkez was an energy monster on the left. Absolutely exerted himself to the fullest by having one of the biggest complaints for him originally was that he was just unbridled energy, but he wasn't focused energy. Now you can see that he is full of energy, chaotic energy, yet it is focused. He set the tone with aggression. He set the tone with his pace. He set the tone with his willingness to go forward. I gave Kirkes an 8.5. I'm not going to call him what I said yesterday, but go ahead. His nickname, at least.
You know what, bro? I was so impressed with him starting off the way he did. I was like, okay, we're at the races today. And because of that, I'm going to give him a 9. I think he didn't let anyone rest. Enthusiastic. Got stuck in. I'm really happy he's landed, and he gives 100% this lad.
Wow. All right. All right. Wasn't expecting that. All right. All right. All right. This next player is one of the few players that has a dedicated soundboard option. I thought he had a good contribution yesterday. Drove the ball well, got his goal. By the way, got a goal. That's a rarity for him, but definitely something welcome to see. Wasn't the greatest of shots. I'm not saying that at all, but maybe because of the way that the shot was kind of awkward, that's maybe the reason why it was able to get in past the keeper, who for them played a very, very, very good game. But delivered in a key moment. I like the fact that he did. I gave Gravy an 8. What would you give Gravy?
Spot on. Hey, I think he played pretty well, man.
Okay. Okay.
He's improved his game in. I think at tight situations, he's very good at that now. He's sort of advanced it in the last few games. Fair play to him.
People are agreeing. Grab 8. Cynical. He says Norm says he's a cynical person, but versus Spurs and last night, Gravy has played very good after signing a new deal.
Spot on, Norman. Spot on. He's like, I want to show the fans why I signed it. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Good attitude. I like Gravenberch anyway. He's top lad, top professional.
Sorry to be joining you so late.
Look at here.
Leave.
Look what the cat's dragging.
Yeah. Better late than never. That's how we look at it. You know?
Better lead than never.
Better lead than never. That's right. That's certainly true.
Bless, bro. Cool.
Yeah, sounds.
Yeah. Well, jump on in. We're just doing the ratings from yesterday since we didn't do a ratings segment. Just getting some ratings in. We're on McAllister. We're on mac and cheese. And what was the cheese level for Macca for you? I thought he played well. I thought he was efficient. I thought he was maybe saying elegant might be going too far with it for some, but I think he dictated the rhythm. I thought he's linked in by creating phases and giving Liverpool some real opportunity with possession. And he was stuck in. He was getting back defensively, trying to get involved and not getting lost going on by being stuck up front. I gave McAllister an 8.5. So I'm going to say that's being biased, but it is not. I swear to you, it's not. What was your score, JK?
I'll give McAllister at 7.5.
Okay. All right. You want to give a grade for him?
For McAllister. Let's see what good moments was there. Oh yeah, I gave him an 8. I'll be generous because he hit the bar and it was robbed, obviously in a ridiculous manner when it was ruled out, that one. So I'll give him an 8 just to be generous.
Let me say this. Yesterday, to the referee, on the goal that he ruled out on Macca, because it was VVD originally was the player that got to the ball first and headed it, and then it dropped to Macca, and Macca put it in. That was the second opportunity he had in front of goal, because the first one, albeit you could definitely say there was some goalkeeper interference. But I would say this to the referee, because that was not interference on VVD. And Macca should have at least one goal. I'm not going to go as far as to say 2, but I'll say 1. because the first one got taken away, and then the second one got taken away as well. So keep that in mind for your ratings. I don't know if that boosts your ratings a little bit from the 7s and 7.5s I've seen for Macca. I don't know if I did a good job of defending or influencing the ratings. Maybe not. Maybe not. For the panel, you guys are gonna up your score a little bit or no?
I think, you know what, I'll just give him an 8. Go on.
Okay. Oh, go on. There you go.
He was sound. He was sound.
It's up there, isn't it?
Oh, it's up in there, isn't it?
Yeah, I don't know why that goal wasn't given. That was weird.
Yeah.
That was my 5-0 prediction as well. Sorted. Bang. Got it right.
Oh, I was so disappointed in that. So disappointed. I was rooting for you. I really was. Dom, so boss, no lie, as I like to call him, because he was boss yesterday, once again. For Dom, pressing, running, intensity, smart occupation of the advanced spaces, basically, proper engine room player for our team. That's why we cannot have him stuck in that right back role, Mr. Slot. Please stop putting him in that right back role and let this guy do what he needs. He needs to
Let him cook.
You need to let him cook.
Despite him scoring the opener, I thought Dom's main contribution was the extra work rate in midfield, the extra the work rate that he gave us, like alongside the others, was his main contribution. Scored the first, a few other nice touches and that, but it was mostly like that thing, wasn't it? Last night, like that, he gave us that bit more energy, whatever you want to call it, passion, blah blah blah. Where it's slightly.
Oh, the crowd is loving Dom and his performance yesterday. Loving it.
Mm-hmm.
How about for you? What was your number? What was the number you're going to give him then, Lee?
I'll give him an 8, like Matt.
Okay.
Mm-hmm.
You gave JK. You gave your rating right for him, right?
Mm-hmm.
Oh, go ahead. My bad.
I'll give him a 9 as well.
A 9.
I think he was sound at a top game.
180. 180. Sounds like that. That's what it sounds like. I love when if you ever watch darts. I like darts, by the way. When the announcer goes 180.
180. Yep.
Yeah. Flo. For Flo, should have scored. Created, combined with a lot of different players on the pitch, caused constant problems for Galatasaray. Again, like I said, the only thing missing was a goal. He needs to shoot earlier. He needs to shoot possibly even more often. But I gave Flo an 8. What you want to give him?
Yeah, I think he sort of got back into the rhythm again. After, say, 2 games, just where he wasn't 100% right. But I think yesterday he was back at the races. And what I love about Wirtz is he tries to connect with every player. Him and Jones, him and Salah now. Him and Jones were the main one. Him and Ekatike. So he's trying. Yeah. So I'm just happy that he put a shift in yesterday. I said pre-game that I want to see Wirtz be involved. Should have scored, of course. Sky's the limit for that guy.
Okay. Lee, what was your score?
For who are we on to? Sorry.
Wirtz, bro.
Wirtz, yeah.
I'll give Wirtz a a 7.
Okay.
Mm-hmm.
For a second, I thought you were giving him a 4. That's why I was like, what? I was like, whoa.
Oh, he was unlucky when that shot that was flying in, it took the neck off that guy to take it over the bar. There was a couple of other situations where I thought he could have maybe engineered an easier shot for himself than what he took. But, he's had that injury, and which kept him out for about 3 weeks or something. Like, it's not a massively long time, but it's enough to interrupt your rhythm, because he was pairing before that, like, sort of funny, you know what I mean? He was really like putting on the style a bit more and that, like, before that injury.
Next up, Ekitike led the line well, occupied defenders, was active, contributed to Liverpool's attacking flow. Of course, could have had more of a reward possibly if he had done a little bit more of the essentials yesterday. But did get a goal all the same. I gave Ekitike an 8 point. An 8. I gave him 8. I was going to give him 0.5, but I give him 8. A solid 8. What'd you give Ekitike?
I'll give him an 8. Spot on. Enthusiastic. Got around, got a goal. So I was happy for him. And he scored a goal in the box. That was what I liked.
Yeah.
Front of the goal, bang, tap in, Joe. Sometimes them type of goals are the most satisfying as well, you know what I mean?
I think I think for a striker, those are the best type of goals, to be honest with you.
Yeah, man. Yeah.
Because that means that you're in the right place, you're in the right means that you're
locked in.
Positionally, you're positionally well, you're locked in, and you're ready. And whether it's you taking on a rebound or whether it's from a pass, you're making the easiest play for your team to score. You don't have to be world class with the delivery or anything like that. I used to say Bobby for me was world class because he was able to do many things, but one of the things that he was able to do was, just get those easy tap ins because his football IQ was so on point that he knew where to be on the pitch for those opportunities. Very similar to Jota. Jota just knew where to be, whether it was for headers, whether it was for rebounds. He just knew where to be on the pitch for those opportunities. That is a top class player.
Yeah, his headers were great for a little fella. Like, it's the timing, isn't it? With your headers, like, you get your timing right, and you sorted, like, you're good in the air. If you ain't got that, you're going to struggle a bit more. But some people just have it naturally, don't do the timing for headers.
Yeah, they do. You want to give your rating, and then I'm going to move on to the last starter at least. Go ahead.
Yeah, I thought Hugo was what's the word? Lively, and a bit of a focal point, like playing as a bit of a focal point for us at times, like, and he had a decent enough game. Yeah, I thought he was like I said, lively and dangerous throughout the game. He tailed off towards the end, but he looked lively and dangerous, like when he got in forward positions, like in good positions. Number wise, I'll give him 7.5.
Okay. All right. Last but not least, our Egyptian king, the man who put in actually a goal contribution that has set him top of all African goal scorers in the Champions League with this 50th goal. Easily have had a hat trick. But other than that, was a constant menace, relentless in the final third. Had an exceptional game considering some of the slight setbacks of missing, the absolute gimme of a goal. And it wasn't he missed it. He was more of the goalkeeper saved the one opportunity, and then the other one was even the penalty. It was a poor penalty though. But he looked dangerous when he got the ball in isolation. I'm going to give. I was going to give him a 7.5, but I'll give him an 8. I'll give him an 8. What was your score for Salah?
Yeah, I'll give him an 8. He plugged away, didn't he? Like until he got a boost from the assist. You could see that, and he enjoyed going out. And then he got his goal, didn't he? You could see that lifted him. His assist. Yeah, it was a good game for him. Like on the whole, he grew into it, didn't he? He had a bit of bad luck with the penalty and the other one that was quite an easy chance, but like he got there in the end, didn't he? Just kept plugging away. That was a good finish. It was a lovely goal, like typical Mo.
Yeah, the Hyler gave him a 9. Okay. Says with a star behind it, and he smiled, and the Anfield crowd smiled and gave him his song. It's like things should be in the world. I agree. I mean, like, look, again, Liverpool fans are something different. He missed the penalty, and Liverpool fans still started singing his song. He missed the penalty, and Liverpool fans still sang his song. And I think that's just to show the measure of that. Do we want to see you score? Obviously, but we also understand that encouragement, the fact that that you're backed and loved by the majority of our fan base. Okay, there are always some eyesores in there, but the majority of our fan base loves and respects you as a player. It makes a difference. It really makes a difference. So, all right, you got to give me your grade, and then we're gonna go to subs. And what I'm gonna do for subs, I'll give each one of us an individual sub to grade on our own. So, give us your grading on Salah, and then we'll move on to subs.
I'm gonna give him an 8.
An 8.
Great to see that bit of venom and bang in his game was back yesterday. Good.
Okay. All right, I'm gonna break these up accordingly. Chiesa, what was your grade for Chiesa? I'm gonna give Chiesa just solely Chiesa to JK. What was your grade for Chiesa?
For
JK.
his goal celebrations on the sidelines, 10 out of 10. The brother's always happy, bro. You remember yesterday when I said the pre-game when he was walking into the stadium and into the dressing rooms, he looked like he was ready to play, you know what I mean? And he had that sort of demeanor about him all game yesterday, even when he was getting warmed up. And we scored goals. He was there celebrating, smiling. I'm thinking, you know what? Any other player, bro, they'd be stroppy. Thinking, you know what? I'm every day in training. Every day I'm there. I'm getting 2 minutes against Galatasaray.
Not
and
even
this brother's
1 minute. You got subbed in on the 89th.
Look, we can talk about slot. We can talk about slot in a minute, but with that substitute, the only fault I had on slot yesterday was the timing of them 3 last subs. They could have been done at least 12 minutes earlier. At least, I wanted to see Chiesa much. I was thinking, bring off Ekatike, bring off whoever, put on Chiesa, let him run around for 15, 20 minutes. So I'll give Chiesa a 7 because of his enthusiasm, bro.
Okay. Now I know that he got in the 89th minute with Rio and with Trey. We're not gonna write Rio and Trey. So what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna give the Scouser the brilliance of grading the Scouser that got in, and that's Curtis Jones for Lee.
Yeah, how many minutes did Curtis have?
Curtis got the most out of all of them. He got in the 60.
Yeah, he got in pretty early actually. Yeah, not early.
He played right. He played right back for. He got in for Frimpong. He played right back.
I'll give Curtis a 7 for his efforts.
Okay.
Didn't do anything bad. Yeah, give him a 7. Curtis.
You know, you wrote there, Lee, about the Mars of Slough.
Yeah.
My auntie lived right next door to that factory of Mars. So when you were asleep, bro, you could smell the chocolate. And then if you were kids and you ran around the factory, the guy used to give out chocolates and that, you know, like free of charge every day. Just like, yeah, take loads of chocolates and that.
Yeah.
Mars of Slough, that's mad,
Yeah,
bro.
Mars of Slough, yeah. Well,
Mm-hmm.
the bounty bars used to have that cardboard strip inside to protect them, you know what I mean? Oh, Mars of Slough, you've really done it now. I'm just a guy that needs a cardboard tray to protect the coconuts so I can eat one bar, but know that the other is safely stored for later.
Okay.
Okay, then.
I like
Somebody loves themselves a chocolate bar.
that.
Okay. All right. Um, I don't know if that's Curtis Jones's gift or not, but okay. Last but not least on here was Cody Gakpo. I chose to let myself rate him because I don't want to get into any bit of like disrespect. I gave Cody Gakpo a 6.5. So decent, average, a little bit under average. Nothing super spectacular from Curtis, or excuse me, from Cody. But all the same, I'm sure I'll hear about it from some of the Cody Gakpo haters. But that is our rating section. Um, I was going to say before we bounce out of here, um, appreciate everyone that joined us from the very gate. I appreciate the fact that some of you have stayed with us for the entirety of the show. If you're watching this on replay, shout out to all of you as well. But this wasn't just a preview. This is going to be a mentality test for this team come Saturday, because everything we're asking right now comes down to one thing, and that is, are these Reds serious about making a push for their pride, for their ego, for their for the fans, for Europe, for all these different things that you could throw in there, for the fact of you know going out the right way as champions should. You know, um, I've heard of all these different things that are measured with this team, and I can tell you this: you can say what you like about Jurgen Klopp. I know there are some that say some disparaging words against our former manager, but one way is that even during his fifth place team and his third place team and his all these other teams that had different segments where they had losing streaks or struggles, almost every team I can remember for Liverpool have always finished the year strong. We've always finished the year strong by winning, putting together winning streaks at the end of the year and showing other teams that there is no let off. There is no moment of, oh, we can put our feet up and just coast. No excuses, no drop off, no complacency. Just get there. Take care of the business and get there. Um, I'm gonna let the guys say their parts. Do your thing. We'll go JK first since he was here first. Then we'll go to Lee second. Go ahead, JK.
Yeah, just like great to see a display like that yesterday. Well, 2 days ago now. We're playing Brighton tomorrow, where we are. But
Saturday, but yeah. Or it's tomorrow for you now. I
yeah,
guess
yeah.
actually.
So look, that's football. Enthusiasm is the main key of everything. And Helio, it was a Toblerone, bro. It was
Mhm.
chocolate. uh, yeah. So look, I just want to see a bit of fighting because we've got two competitions we can win. Very important that we win something. And hopefully the players will get that confidence now going into that Brighton game. it's a tricky game. Don't get me wrong. Brighton ain't a poor team, but for me, they're beatable. So let's get the job done. And thanks to everyone in the chat, man. Top lads.
Shout out, Lee, for coming. Despite the fact that he was a little bit late to the party, doesn't matter. He gets to see the party out. So, what do you got to say to your brethren here?
We need a really good performance to get the points at Brighton. And we really need them after dropping 5 points in 6, don't we? But as I said before, it might take like a bit of a substandard performance from them, which I don't expect to help us win. But we're going to have to play well. There's no doubt about that. We won't get nothing for nothing there. Like, we're going to have to earn it. And I'll take a really good performance. Let's hope we can get one. But cheers to everyone in the chat, like, everyone who's been in, still in now. We'll talk again soon, eh?
Okay. I wanted to leave with a little bit of obviously Red Zen. But before we do too, this is a bit of Red Zen. I wanted to also give a proper representation for our Reds brothers that are part of the Islamic faith, and it is Eid Mubarak, right? Which is something that should be noted and celebrated. Know that you are appreciated by your other Reds brethren. Shout out to them as well. Also, I want to say, please do drop your predictions, drop your lineups, answer the questions that we brought up today. If you can, be fantastic that you put in the comment section, because when you put them into the comment section, it really does make a difference in the algorithm. It tweaks the algorithm to tickles. It tickles. It's like a tickle me Elmo for the algorithm. It makes it laugh and enjoys it. Smash that like button. Subscribe to the channel if you haven't, obviously. And most likely, now I don't know if Lee and they haven't made a commitment to it, so I don't know if Lee and JK are going to be doing the Saturday Reds roll call. I don't know if they are or not. I'm not trying to make them any pressure on them having to do so or not. I will tell you that there is a high likelihood that I might not be able to, considering that would be 4:30 in the morning, and I do have work this weekend. So, and I work a night job. I mean, by the time I get done my night job, it's like 3 o'clock in the morning. So it's one of those things where I would have to like stay awake, and my eyes will be closed, or I'd be wearing sunglasses probably on the broadcast. So, so I don't know. We'll see if we're going to do it. I'll have an update for you after I speak to the gentleman behind in the backstage. I'll see what they think. But either or, I will do a post match. However, I will be watching the game. It's going to be our last opportunity to see our Reds for a couple of weeks. And I'm excited to watch the game with you tomorrow, in spirit at least. Not in a watch along, but certainly in spirit. So there is that. You guys want to say peace out, by the way?
Yeah, cheers everyone. Thanks for being here. Thanks for your contributions and that. And hopefully we'll get something good at the weekend, because we need it. We need points, don't we? I mean, it's not an easy ask getting these points, like, and I won't like flip me lid if we don't get them. But I'm gonna be obviously bitterly disappointed because we've dropped 5 points in 6 and can't really be dropping anymore. We've made it tight for ourselves now, haven't we? And awkward for ourselves.
So, KLF. I love KLF, by the way. I love KLF.
Yeah, the main bloke, he went to uni in Liverpool, the Scottish fella, Bill Drummond, and like he sorted out
cool.
the other Scottish guy. Yeah. He was in Big in Japan. He was the bass player in Big in Japan, the Liverpool punk band.
Okay. That's cool. I remember it's not connected to that punk band, but I remember "Big in Japan" was a very big song actually too. I like to think I'm big in Japan sometimes. That's Lisa. That's my little calling card when someone asks, "Oh yeah, who are you?" And I'm like, "Oh, I'm big in Japan." How about that?
The best
Um,
KLF song was What Time Is Love. It was a club classic in 1990. They're like, I don't know, he was an American rap guy doing the rap bit, like, and just the other bits talking. It was Boss. It's a dead good song, mate. It was a real club classic in 90, that one. What
yeah.
Time Is Love.
I
Woo, woo,
wonder.
woo,
I wonder
woo.
if they ever got in trouble. I don't. I know that they did do that. By the way, hi Lord. They did burn the £1,000,000. I know they did do that, but I wonder if they got in trouble for doing that. I wonder if they did. Only because I know that you're not allowed to burn currency. At least
Yeah.
in America, you're not allowed to burn. It's like a crime or something, or a federal offense if you burn money.
No, he did weird stuff when he was managing Echo and the Bunnymen, like making them play bizarre, obscure places for no reason and that. He's a bit nutty, builds them up, but like a good artist and a good fella and a funny man, like, and that interesting bloke.
JK, did you want to say goodbye and salutations to the chat before we bring up this moment of Zen?
Okay, peace, everyone. Have a good day wherever you are in the world.
There you go. Simple as. All right, my brothers and sisters. This is your moment of Zen. Yesterday, um, absolutely some turbulent downs for our Egyptian king. It looked like it was going to be a moment where, um, I saw Goldbridge and talking trash on Salah, and I saw other content creators out there really saying that the Egyptian king is no longer the king and da 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 and all this other stuff. Well, let me tell you this. Let me tell you this. Yesterday, he put in a goal that was brilliant, 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 brilliant. Mo Salah-esque type goal with his left foot, and even the youngins on the sidelines, Trainioni and Rio, had to recognize on that. The old man still got it. Okay, now how about that? So this is your little moment of Red Zen. Appreciate each and every one of you. We will be back tomorrow. I'm going to give out some of the stories. I have a whole bunch of stories already written or scripted and everything for the international break. So I'm going to give you a little teaser on those stories to come over the break. But until then, up the Reds each and every time. Take care and be safe out there.